second, now there is audio on YouTube. Thank you, John. I appreciate the heads up. I muted it during the intro video, but it should be back on right now. For a second, I thought it was one of my issues. I thought it was one of my classic Torvik audio issues, but I think it's good. I just unmuted it. It looks like I see the meters going. It should be up and ready to go. Sounds good, Kaden. Sounds good. Let's get into some music, y'all. Let's get into music. Max, welcome in. Got a little burnt. My last day there, golf at 12 p.m. Not ideal. Man, it's, yeah. Once you're, anytime between like 12 p.m. and like 6 or 7 p.m. in South Texas or in Texas in general, it's going to be 100. It's going to be 100 degrees plus, or at least feels like 100. I did, Ian. I did. I'll let y'all know here in just a second too. Stop, Derek. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. All right, let's get into some music, y'all. Let's get into some music. Let's dive in. DJ, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. For those of you coming in, stop, Max. Get out. Max is blocked. No, I'm just kidding. For those of y'all coming in for the first time, thanks for joining. I appreciate y'all being here. Welcome in to the stream. Thanks for joining, spending some time with us today. We are going to dive into your music here in just a couple minutes, but let me give my quick spiel to let y'all know what in the world is going on here in this stream. Thank you, Max. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. If you've never been here before, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. We got 2 lines here. We have 2 lines here. The first line is a free line. That free line, we will listen to up to 2 minutes of your song and give you a quick note. Short and sweet. Up to 2 minutes of your song and a quick note, maybe on song structure, quick little mix detail, and then we move on. Then we do have a paid side. The paid side is the consultation side. Those are the 20 to 30 minute multiple listen deep dive consultations on the structure of your music. Those are not a quick review. Those are, like I said, a 20 to 30 minute, 2 to 3 times through your song breakdown of the mix and master, production elements, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting, so on and so on. Those are a really long form deep dive into what you're doing both creatively and practically within the structure of your music. I'm not here to roast you. I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to tear you down. I'm not here to, hype you up. I'm not here to give you exposure. The goal is to really just dive into the details of the music and offer some specific, practical, and actionable feedback on the structure of what you're doing musically. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That's what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist, hence the keys and stuff in here. It's a lot of what I do for my job as well. But that is kind of the perspective of the stream. That is the perspective that we're looking from and listening from in order to really get into the details of what y'all are doing and hopefully offer you some tools that would be valuable. But those consultation sides of the line, those are where you're going to get the 20 to 30 minute breakdowns. As far as Sean, good to see you. Welcome in. As far as submitting your music, we are live on 3 different platforms right now. So keep that in mind. You can join us wherever. We're live on 3 different platforms right now. If you are on TikTok, you can, and you want to submit your music, you can go to the link in my bio. Go to the link in my bio. You'll see everything that you need right there. You will see both lines. You'll see the free line. You'll see the consultation line, and you can submit wherever you want. You can skip yourself forward. You can move yourself around. That is also where you will see the queue. So if you want to see the line, you want to see the queue, you want to see the order, you want to see where you are and go faster, stuff like that, then all of that is at the same tab. You can see the queue, see the line, submit, skip, all that stuff right there. That's on TikTok. Link in my bio. If you are on YouTube, it is at the description of the live stream. You'll see the link right there. If you are on Twitch, you can type Renita, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. If you're on Twitch, if you're on Twitch, you can type _submit right there in the chat and the link will present itself to you. But let's get into some music. Let's get into some music. Can you play on Working Man? Is it Jacob or Jack? Link in my bio. John, yeah, we're on X. Try burn M3. If you want to submit, it's at the link in my bio. If you spam the chat, you will get muted. I don't want you to get muted because if you're muted, you can't contribute, you can't network, you can't talk to people. So don't spam the chat. If you spam it, you'll get muted or blocked if you keep doing it. So definitely just make sure that you are going to the link in my bio if you would like to submit your music or music that you're a part of. Sounds good, John. Sounds good. Yeah, I got you. I'm ready. I'm excited. It's been a while since I've heard your music, but let's get into it, man. Let's dive in once again. Submissions at the link in my bio. There's a free line. There's a 20 to 30 minute breakdown that is a long form analysis of what you're doing. Up to you where you want to go, how fast you want to go, so on and so on. But let's get into it. We're going to kick it off today with Consider the Lilies by Derek Bennett featuring Abby Parker. This is mix number 1. I believe I've heard this. The name is seeming super familiar to me, so I think I've heard the song before. This is mix number 1. I hear some sibilant stuff on the intro vocal and add some reverb on the snare drum. What else do you hear? Let's get it. Let's go, Max. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's get into it. This is consider the slow down, dude. My brain. My sometimes like my body's here and I'm present and my brain is about 70 feet in front of me at like a dead sprint. It's hard, man. Jesus. All right, this is Consider the Lilies by Derek Bennett featuring Abby Parker. Moose, welcome in. All right, this is like the worst possible thing for me to do with ADHD. I'm gonna need a tap. Same place. Or there's the Discord. Sorry. If you're on Twitch, type ! Submit. Sorry, I get confused on the different platforms. If you're on Twitch, type ! Submit. The link will pop up for you, and that's where you can send your music. All right, let's get into it. Yeah, slow down. Here's the thing, dude. It just doesn't. I'll slow down for a second, and we're back. It just kicks back in, man. It's brutal. All right, let's get into it. Shout out to Derek Bennett, man. Let's get into it. First mix back on this song. I'm excited to hear, man. Have I heard an early version of this? I like that piano. Nice little hammer.
Consider the lilies, how stately they
Oh yeah, I remember this. Has been a while.
They never toil, they never spin, carefree in the hands of God. Yet they bloom all summer, so shining and tall. The Father who loves them takes thought
100%.
for them all.
100%, yeah. Remixes, instrumentals, vocals, doesn't matter. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
Consider the ravens who gives them their food.
She has an awesome voice.
Who shelter their nests in the storm-beaten wood. Who guides a young sparrow, who watches his fall. Their Father in heaven takes heed for them all.
Jamie, I got you. Thank you so much.
Consider the lilies, how much more does he love you? Consider the lilies, how much more does he love you?
What's up, Rona? Welcome in.
The Father who loves them takes thought for them all.
Awesome. That guitar is beautiful too. Great tone.
Our Father in heaven, your children are here. To you we are precious. To you we are dear. So guide us and guard us. Stay close when we call. You hold us and love us. We thank you for all. How much more does he love you? Consider the lilies. How much more does he love you? Consider the lilies. How much more does he love you? The Father
No. Any style. Any style.
takes thought for them all.
Those vocal layers are beautiful. I bet Southern, yeah, any genre, any style. This is just our first song. Hey, Fred, welcome in. Good to see you. Thanks for tapping in. Y'all, give it up one time for the family. That is Derek Bennett music right here in the chat. Consider the Lilies. He's doing a whole album of him remixes and reimagining. So this is one of the pieces of that puzzle. Let's get into it, man. Let's run it from the top. This is the first mix back from his engineer that he's working with, man. Beautiful, beautiful job. There's some incredible production build out here. Vocal, just from a vocal performance standpoint, I feel like it's really, really strong. It's energetic, it's vibrant, it's projected beautifully. There are some details of the mix that I would love some you already mentioned some of them in your note, but some revisions to this mix I would love to have. It is a bit like high, mid, forward. So it's a bit ringy. It's really, really bright. And there's some really heavy like subharmonics in there, which are beautiful, right? I mean, they add a lot of weight, but it does feel a little kind of hollow in the middle of the mix. Dom West in the building. What's up, Dom West? Welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. But it's a little bit hollow in the middle where we're getting a lot of strength far low end and then a pretty snappy, punchy forward, like high mid, even just like 5K and above. There's a lot of energy, 4 or 5K and above. There's a lot of energy right there between the vocal, between a couple other layers in there. So I want to listen for that just really briefly. And then maybe one instrumental aspect a little bit later on in the song. But most of this sounds beautiful, man. It's really, really well done. I do think you're just, a revision or two away from this feeling really, really just confident and really, really bold. But let's get into it, man. For mix one, this is great. Yeah, some sibilant stuff in the vocal. I think some of that is because of this big high push, especially if it is feeling a little bit forward at like 5K, 6K, and that's where a lot of the sibilance of that vocal is lying, then it could also be that like the EQ on that vocal is fighting the suppression of the de-esser or something like that, where you're trying to de-ess it, but then you're also cranking the high end, and they're fighting each other a little bit, so you get some of the brightness out of the vocal, but then it also feels like it's carved a little bit. So let's get into it. Shout out to Abby Parker as well. Amazing voice. Absolutely fantastic voice. Y'all show some love. Working on a new track with synthepy vocals now. While this stuff is hard, I'm going to get a real singer on it. Let's go, Anna. 100%. I bet you can. Jenna, welcome into the stream. I hope you're doing amazing. Y'all keep tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people. If you would like to submit your music, I still see people asking. If you want to submit your music, if you're on TikTok specifically, then just go to the link in my bio. You can read through the details there. You can go to the free line or to the paid consultation line. Socket, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. All of that's at the link in my bio. If you're on Twitch, type !submit. If you're on YouTube, it's at the description of the live stream. Link goes to the same place everywhere. You can see the line, see the queue, and of course, submit your music for either line. But let's get into it, man. Derek Bennett, let's dive in from the top. Let's get into some of the details. See about Heartstyle. Oh, we had a great I forget the artist name because we got a bunch of different people in here, but there was kind of hyper poppy / hardstyle artist probably 3 or 4 days ago that was really, really talented. I wish I could remember the name. I think they were new to the chat, but they did a great job. All right, let's run it from the top, man. Let's run it from the top.
Consider the lilies, how stately they grow.
Yeah, you can hear the effort to really open up and brighten that vocal right there. I'm kind of curious. There's some like artifact at the top of that vocal right there. I'm kind of curious. I'm almost positive, but I'm kind of curious if there's fresh air on there. You get this really like sharp resonance at the top end of the vocal, and then you also get this excitement. So it is de-essed, obviously, but also super bright and it's kind of fuzzy at the top, so you get a little bit of the artifact. I'm curious if that's just fresh air, right? It's just already a pretty bright, pretty highly compressed vocal. I mean, the vocal itself has a lot of weight to it already, and then you get this at the top of the vocal right there. I think that's part of why it cuts in a little bit harsh. Obviously, I don't have the session, so I don't know. If there is, let's imagine for a second that there is fresh air on that vocal, the most abused plugin on planet Earth. I wish, this is, I'm lying right now, but I wish fresh air was free, so it wasn't so abused. Anyways, side note, I wish it wasn't free. If fresh air was $100, we wouldn't hear it nearly as much as we do. If it is fresh air or some high end excitement or some like multi-band saturation or whatever may be happening that is causing that high end excitement and that kind of hiss at the top of the vocal, a little bit of mitigation of that I do think would help just re-clarify the vocal, soften some of it. It's so like direct and harsh and resonant right there. Some of it's good. Some of it makes it nice and powerful, especially when we hit those lead vocals at the peak of the song, at the climax of the song. There's a ton of energy there. It feels vibrant. It feels really energetic. But some of these earlier moments in the song where we could definitely deal with a much like softer, warmer, easier to listen to vocal, it really feels kind of forced through. So just beware of anything happening, whether it's like a multi-band or whether it's like fresh air or just a big high push on that vocal that's then also being suppressed by some other layers of compression and stuff like that. I think if we can soften that vocal a little bit, not just the de-essing, because the de-essing is just part of it, right? It's already fairly de-essed, but it still is just really, really forward in those kind of high mid frequencies right there. So a little bit of direction there, I do think would be helpful.
Consider the lilies, how stately they grow.
Because again, listening to the production, it's so, it's so easy. Like, everything's just like super chill and really, really mellow. So if we really push a sharp vocal, it's going to be very, very contrasted from the rest of the production. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate that a lot.
They never told you,
Sammy, good to see you.
Carefree in the hands of God, yet they bloom all summer, so shining.
Love that little vocal introduction right there in the back. Beautiful. That's nice.
Father who loves them takes thought for them all.
Great automation. Great wash there. Yeah, this is the deep dive that we're getting into here.
Consider the rain.
You are getting a lot more just width and openness from the percussion already. Thank you so much for the gifts. Thank you for the goat busker. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for tapping in today as well. Appreciate your generosity. And right, production itself feels nice, and like the percussion itself feels nice and wide. It feels open. That feels really, really well structured. When it comes in, it does offer you a lot more of that transience and that sharpness that I do think adds a lot to the production. The biggest thing I think I want you to focus on is there's a couple things. Maybe it's even happening on the mastering side, just because I'm hearing it over I'm hearing it like kind of an umbrella over a lot of different elements. But I think most of it I'm hearing in maybe a little bit of the percussion and obviously largely those lead vocals as well. Kelsey, welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic.
Consider the ravens who gives them their food.
It's a great voice. Tone on the guitars, chef's kiss. Beautiful. That overdrive on the left side, it's like too broken up, washed in like Valhalla style reverb, and it's reflective. It's super, super open. Love the guitars and what they're doing. Love their positioning in the mix. That just widens everything so much. Beautifully done. Appreciate you so much. Thanks for tapping in. That's beautiful. Love that. Strings are great too.
Their Father in heaven takes heed for them all. Consider the lilies.
Okay, so one thing I'm listening for here is just the dynamics between when we go into the vocal right there. Like, this is the start of the hook, right? Technically. Am I hearing that correctly? Like this, technically, this is the start of the hook. Display, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah. So what I'm listening for is just the dynamics here and the production build out changes here, right? So if we go from here, like what's the sub bass doing? What's the rest of this? What's the sub bass, the guitars, all of the rest of the production build out right here, vocal register, the vocal register at the top. What are they doing and how is it kind of positioned in the mix and how does that carry over into the hook? They feel largely almost exactly the same as the next. You know what I mean? What's up, Richard? Welcome in. Vadis in the building. Got my plugins back. Let's go, Vadis. Let's go. Man, nothing makes me happier. That's amazing. I'm so grateful you didn't lose like $500 in plugins. Okay. Or much more. So I want to back it up here just a minute because that's one of the things I'm listening for is like, is there a way that we can restrain the end of the second verse or boost and amplify the, going into the hook a little bit more by filling in the mids maybe, whether it's another string or a pad or something like that to distinguish them a little bit more because dynamically they're almost exactly even. Largely the same dynamic and the same feel. Hey, appreciate you so much, man. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for stopping by, Vadis. Richard, thank you so much for the roses as well. I appreciate that a lot. Right? That's the thing that I'm listening for here. Is like this is going from verse to hook. what if we hear, so we're relying on these really like thin hats underneath. What if we just added in like a 16th note shaker or a 16th note tambourine or something like that with a bunch of reverb on it, especially with like an accent hit to just distinguish these two moments. And then when we go into the hook right there, we amplify just a hair. It just needs like one, did it in the final hook. Excuse me. I think we might need to do it earlier just because there's nothing that distinguishes these two moments here, or it's very, very minuscule here. You might want to still have a little bit of that going into this hook as well. Like here. It's a great voice, fantastic voice, great production build out. It's awesome, man. I mean, it's really, really well put together. Love the dynamics here. So I think percussion too. So the two things that I would look at, largely speaking, that kind of welcome in, that would largely put most of your focus on is like EQ of drum/drum bus, and then vocal/vocal bus. I think that's what I would pay the most attention to, just because that's where I'm getting most of this kind of forwardness, and just like over resonance of the vocals. Same with like claps as well, right? So like claps, and I think the snare and maybe high end of the kick. There's a couple different elements, right? So high end of the kick, clap, maybe some of the snare right there that are also kind of resonant in that space. It could mean that this is happening on the master, right? Where there's all of these elements have this push in the high mids, or, lower high end, anywhere from 3 to 5K that is causing this to feel a little bit more inflated right there. It could balance out naturally just by carving a little bit of space right there, or just seeing what's being boosted on the master side. But it is a couple elements, but either way, I would probably go back into those elements and see if we can't soften some of those more dramatic EQ curves and make this feel a little softer, a little bit easier, not so slicey, right? Because it is a beautiful production. It has a ton of great energy, right? I mean, the musicianship is awesome. The vocal, performance, I think, is fantastic. It's really, really well done. And so I just want to make sure that none of that comes through with any harshness or anything that is going to limit your ability to just absolutely, crank this song. It's really, really well put together. So I don't want anything to feel like it's over resonant at all.
Our Father in heaven, your children are here. To you we are precious. To you we are dear. So guide us and guard us. Stay close when we call. You hold us and love us. We thank you for
So here is where the last thing I think I'll say here. This is where I feel like I'm missing, not just like mids, because like I said, there's a lot of those high mids right here. But this is where I feel like I'm hearing just like strings, drums, and sub bass. And obviously vocal at the top end there too, right? We're getting this big spread, far, far, far low end, and then really bright, crispy, snappy, punchy at the top. This middle of the mix right here in the middle, I feel like I'm missing some life right there. I would love just either whether it's like a Juno style, kind of like a pluck chord, or even the piano. Like I was just trying to figure if there's something that could just sit right in the middle of that right there to fill out the mids a little bit more with something that's a little bit softer. That's kind of the last little thing that I'm missing. Or if there's something already there that we can trade energy for not being so snappy and not so, poppy at the top end and fill in those mids just a little bit more. So like right here. It's a little empty in the mids. Filling in the mids right there. We're getting a lot of low end inflation, and the tambourine does come in and it's beautiful right there. The way that builds up, I think, is fantastic. But we're moving in. Sounds good. Amazing. the way that we build up that low in there gives you a lot of depth and gives you a ton of energy. And then, of course, at the very, very top end, you have all the brightness from the vocal. Oh, no. Please, no. Great the band. Welcome in. Good to see you. We have all of this top end, right? But that middle is missing a little bit, possibly just because most of the headroom's taken up by the low end. So that'd be the few things. And again, I know I'm digging into these like a fair amount, but they're very small details that to me are not super, super significant in the overall soundstage. It is a well put together production. It is a pretty good like level balance to the mix. The thing that I just want to address is that obviously the top end energy of that vocal, how it presents itself in the mix, as well as obviously some of the other instrumentation of how it presents itself in the mix. Bro, what is she talking about? We're talking about music right here. Let's talk about your music. That's what we're talking about. And hence me listening to a song and then talking about their music and what they're doing in it. But y'all show some love, man. Show some love. Trig in the building. Welcome in. Thanks for tapping into the stream. Show some love to Derek Bennett. Show some love to Derek Bennett. You're the man. You're the man. Obviously, it's a really, really fantastic first mix on this song. If we can just slightly rebalance some of those kind of pain points that are just, they don't even necessarily sound bad, to be honest with you. They don't really, really sound bad. To me, we're biasing a little bit towards some harshness. And to me, that's just going to limit the expression of it. And I want this to be able to be pushed. I want it to be loud. I want it to be saturated, while still, not running into anything that's going to feel ringy or feel harsh or abrasive in any sense at all. But man, show some love to Derek Bennett. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. A quick reminder, Jamie, I got your second one as well. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. If you would like to submit your music, everything is at the link in my bio. This is for your music. If you're an artist, producer, session musician, you're an engineer, you are a songwriter, so on and so on. If you make music or are connected to music in any way, then this is for you. That's what this live stream is all about. This is not for popular artists. This is not for just people that you like. This is for music that you are a part of in some fashion. If you would like to submit, if you're on TikTok, it's at the link in my bio. If you are on Twitch, you can type !submit. If you are on YouTube, oh shit, something just bite me. What the fuck? Sorry, dude. I just got like something just. What the hell was that? I feel like I just got stung by a bee on my calf. Dude, what the heck? Sorry. One moment, y'all. One moment. Dude, I don't know. That was, dude, it terrified me. All of a sudden, something like, what the hell? I'm like looking around trying to see what it was. I feel like something, sorry if I scared y'all. Hold on. What the heck? I don't see anything. Well, we'll figure that out later. Yep, that was weird. Anyways, I got stuff biting me over here. It's fine. I'll survive. We'll make it work. Anyways, Retrack said it doesn't really happen in others. I don't know. And I even say like your music right here, your music. I didn't say like, what's your favorite song? Like, let's talk about your music that you make. It's strange. It's whatever. It's whatever. It's fine. There's worse things that could be happening. What's your schedule look like this next week? Just shoot me messages. We'll work something in, man. I'm here. The thing that I always tell people is I'm always busy, but I'm flexible. Always busy, always doing something, but I can move that something around, typically speaking. So, shoot me a message, man. Reach out on Instagram. We can swap numbers or whatever, and then we can find a time to tap in on finalizing some stuff for the album and things like that, man. Be happy to help you out. Y'all show some love. Let's get it going. Let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. I don't know what I'm getting eaten alive in here about. It's these stupid those little earwigs or something. I don't know. Something's eating me up in here. But let's get into it, man. Let's get it. We got Isle in the building. Isle of Salmon. Let's go. Something just was gnawing at my calf for a second there. Let's go. All right, John is in the building. This is Isle of Salmon. Let's dive in. This is sick. Give me the details. Give me the details. Let me know what's going on with the song. Talk to me through the role that you're playing. Obviously, I've heard your music before a couple different times. But talk me through just the role in this song, where you're at with this record, any pain points you want me to address, so on and so on. All right, this is Sick by Isle of Salmon. Let's get into it.
Sick for some months with no time to catch you and gone for a couple of years. Storms, they show couple of sleeps last night. I try and hide
Where's this about to go?
facing fog, skipping hills. I've been clean for months. What's the
It's always like that? Interesting. I mean, most in this space aren't. That's what's interesting. That's why I get confused.
say my summer? We could keep it whether it's hot. Let's say deal.
Link in my bio. Link in my bio.
But you're gunning out. You say that it's fine, but it's easy how. Skin color marks is where magic acts. It's easy to say that I'm not attached, but it's harder to move than it is just to talk. Oh, my talking stops, we all just run. May you sing it loud. 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 May you sing
Some like controlled chaos to the production here. I want to support the vocal a little bit more, but I like the aesthetic. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it. What's up, Ghost? What's up? What's up? No worries, Anima. No worries. We still got a minute left. Is it sonorous? Thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. There's definitely some interesting sound design. It's kind of eerie, but it has some good structure to it. But yeah, I do want to clarify that vocal. What's up, Neon? Welcome in. Welcome back. Welcome back. I do want to support it. I do want to support it a little bit, maybe clarify it a little bit more, but I do like this kind of grungy underground feel. I don't want to over polish this, but I do want some separation. Dude, it's so hot in here. God. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all show some love to John Salmon right here in the chat. Show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Man, let's dive into it. Let's get into the details. That is Sick by Isle of Salmon. Let's dive in. If y'all want to submit, everything's at the link in my bio. Link in my bio. Yeah, so I mainly want to talk, there's a couple different elements of this in here. Made by Ghost, I'm doing great. I'm doing great, man. Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate y'all being here. Excuse me. Structure of this, I think, is really interesting. I think it's really engaging to listen to. So for me, this is going to come down to kind of a two-sided coin right here, where like, well, of course, all are. It's two sides. It's two sides right here, where I want to maintain and respect the rawness of this record, right? It's grungy, it's raw, it's really organic. There's either not a lot of processing on certain things or really intentional kind of underground filtered processing on a lot of elements. Oversaturation, distortion, just loops and stuff like that. You're doing a great job of building those out. And I want to maintain that color and that texture I want to maintain that color and that texture in the song itself. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I got to make sure, are the channel points not coming through? I got to fix that then. Fix that though. The world's most swipe artable session musician. Vote now in the chat. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Anyways, that's kind of what I'm listening for here, because I think stylistically you're onto something really interesting, and I want to maintain that. I want to keep the heart of that. At the same time, if people can't relate to it or doesn't feel grounded or doesn't feel like it's easy enough for people to, latch on to what you're doing, then it is going to be a pain point in people experiencing the song, right? So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Sick by Isle of Salmon. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. Once again, if you want to submit, if you're on TikTok, link in my bio, exclamation point submit on Twitch, and the description on YouTube. Let's dive in.
For some months with no time to catch. Sick for some months with no time to catch. You and gone for a couple of years.
Like even these vocals here, I would love to polish a little bit more too. Now, I'm not saying that, depending on the style and depending on kind of the aesthetic that you're going for, I don't necessarily feel like you need to have a ton of auto-tune or anything on here too, but you're definitely going to miss melodic clarity if those notes don't catch a little bit better. What I would probably prefer that you do is use a manual tuner, like either a Melodyne, which is what I use and I've used for like 18 years, or like graph mode on Antars or something like that. Because right now these are completely dry. They're completely raw, which I don't really mind. We just have to make sure that, the question that I always ask people is like, what do you want people to sing with you? If you're writing a melody, if you're building a song, if you're trying to, build a song structure, what melody do you want people to sing, right? If that melody's not clear, it's not distinct, it's not in the structure of the mix in a way that feels like it's easy and palatable for people to like learn, absorb, and repeat themselves, then that's going to be the struggle. So in some of these low moments right here, Grant the Band, I got you. Thank you so much. Sonoris, I got you as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all a lot. If there's not clarity, if you want Melodyne for free, DM me. Let's go. Okay, sounds good. But if you don't have clarity of those melodies, it's going to be very challenging for people to latch on, challenging for people to learn and express as well. So those are some of those things here, like when we get a little bit later in.
You and gone for a couple of years.
If there's a couple melodies, we're about 40, 50 cents in between one of those semitones right there, and that's where I want to da 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 dun, dun. Right? Like I want those melodies to be a little bit more distinct, especially in the lower register of your voice. So that's where I would probably use something like Melodyne. So when those notes are 30, 40 cents sharp, you can just drop them into place without too much dramatic formant shifting or really hearing the retune speed of auto-tune or something like that. You can take a really natural doubled vocal and just drop it into place and it be a little bit more transparent. Because once again, I don't want this is not a modern pop record. What's up, Sig? Welcome in. I appreciate you being here. And thank you for the follow, Sig. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for the love. And then Sonoris, I got you. I hope you saw that earlier. I got you so much. Or I got you so much. I got you. Thank you so much. I'm missing words here. But that's where I would just clarify some of those melodies right here, especially early on, in order to really solidify that and make it as easy for people to learn, hear, and understand as possible. And what genre do you mainly produce? To be honest with you, right now, it's all over the place. Anything that's got synths, I'm on it, but it could be anything from pop, R&B, kind of 80s pop, synth pop, dream pop stuff. It could be hip hop, it could be trap, it could be all over the place. EDM, lo-fi. It's a little bit all over. It just kind of depends on the client, depends on where I'm at. I mean, not that long ago, I produced a progressive metal track for an artist. So it really just depends on what the demand is and what clients, are coming through. But I would say most often it's in a pop adjacent realm, just because that's a lot of what people come to me for with like analog synths and like live drums, guitar, stuff like that. But it really just depends on the month, honestly. Some months are biased more, one direction than others. All right, let's get a little deeper here. What's up, Tab? Welcome in. Cold, thank you for the follow.
I try and hide the disguise. Facing fog, skipping hills. I've been clean.
Clarifying some of those melodies in the background. What's up, Ellie? Welcome in. I'm great.
Pay your tolls. Stay by my side. We could keep it whether it's hard.
Right, clarifying some of the melody, da 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 da, like it a little bit tight. I still want the natural, I still want some of the natural movements. I still want some of the natural bends in your vocal. But if we can clarify those melodies a little bit, I would probably also support them by doubles, especially when you're getting into kind of a hook of this song. The structure on this is pretty loose. It's a little bit all over the place, which I don't mind in this genre. There's a little bit more movement back and forth. It's not as rigid or structured as maybe some other genres. But in this space here, I would would probably, when you're getting into your more repetitive lines, this da 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 da, when you're getting into those melodies, you might want to like double up that vocal, support it. So even if there is some variation in pitch, there is some modulation, that vocal feels a little bit tighter. It feels supported a little bit better in the mix. And then as far as like one of the things you were talking about was like connecting it a little bit more. I think one of the easy things that you can do as well would just be to process holistically as well and make sure that you're not just like, here's acoustic guitars and they're in their bubble, here's the vocal over here and the vocal's doing its own thing, and here's percussion over here and the percussion kind of lives in its own random space. Make sure that you are like tastefully bussing things out in order to kind of reconnect them and glue them together under an umbrella of processing, whether that's light compression, whether that's, tape saturation, whether it's some creative effects that you've bussed out. I would love to like connect some of the processing. So part of the thing you were talking about is like, I feel like the vocals over here, I feel like the production's over here, and they're not really speaking the same language, right? They're kind of living in their own world a little bit. So one of the easiest ways for you to connect it would of course be in the way that you mix it, right? It's going to be in the way that you balance it, but it's also just going to be in how you bust out, and that you actually, that sounds funny, but connect it under the same processing, right? Like send all of your instruments to an instrument bus and then reconnect it with some glue compression over there on your master or your final mix bus, a little bit of glue, a little bit of saturation, some tasteful EQ curves, so that everything under that umbrella has a similar process to it and opens up in a very similar way. The more like isolated each element is in the mix, the more frustrating it's going to be to try to connect them all, right? So find some creative ways to connect that processing and put them all under one umbrella. Some say those who book Torvik are 5% happier. Only 5%. That's bad rating. That's bad ratings. Sig, I produce girly pop for clients and EDM for myself. What should I submit? I'm a fan of both of those, Sig. I guess it would depend on what you feel like is like the best representation of your work. That's kind of up to you. What do you feel like would be like a good representation of the thing you enjoy making the most, whether that's for yourself or for clients, whatever it may be. What do you feel like represents your skills and what you want to show people, maybe if you have any pain points you want help on, anything. Let me know, what would be kind of the best in that space. But yeah, I want you to, if you're going to submit something you feel like is a good representation of your work and or something that you have some pain points in that you want to improve on. That's a lot of what we're working on here. Okay, let's push a little bit farther.
Sick for some months, but you're gonna now. You say that's fine, but it's easy how. Skin color marks is where magic acts. It's easy to say that I'm not attached, but it's hard.
Like right now, that vocal has just fallen way back in the mix as well. So the other thing I would say is just don't be afraid, even with like a distorted or a filtered vocal, you're making some like bolder stylistic decisions with that vocal, little slap delays and tight doubles and stuff like that. Don't be afraid of still having it nice and prominent at the front of the mix. I also think it could be really beneficial. You do a little bit later on. So once we get into like the B section here, we're about 2 minutes in, we do open up some little stereo plucks and picking patterns and stuff like that on the outside. But I would love for whatever you were like calling your hook in the song, for you to potentially like double track that acoustic that you have in the middle, the dun 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 dun, right? Your like main strumming pattern here, because the vast majority of this song, and part of maybe why it feels smaller and doesn't feel like it has much life and energy to it, is the vast majority of the song and its processing is happening right here in the middle of the mix. That's not specifically a negative thing, but I would love to open up some of the rest of the production here to give it a little bit more vibrancy, a little bit more width, right? So what I would probably do is like, if most of your like verses we're going to have like a really, simple strumming pattern in mono, maybe opening up like a double track of another, maybe like higher inversion of the strumming pattern that you double track left and right and feed that into the hook. So specifically on the hook, the bass comes in, a little percussive element comes in, the doubles of the vocal come in, and this double track of the guitars come in. So the hook itself feels more vibrant, feels a little bit more energetic compared to the verses. And then when you go back to like verse 2 or whatever it may be, a bridge or something like that, it actually does feel like the song shrinks down a little bit. It breathes a little bit. So it gets smaller, more vulnerable, and then it expands and gives you a lot more energy going into the hook as well. Just, I think a little bit more contrast from verse to hook in the sound design itself, and then also how you're presenting it. I think would be really, really nice. Otherwise, the thing that I worry about with a song like this, which is easy to do, even if it sounds awesome, even if you like the tone of it, is it can become monotonous really, really easy. Songs like this can be, and it's not because it specifically all just sounds bad. It's a lot of the same dynamics, same vocal range, range, same production structure, a lot of the same sound design, the same strumming pattern, the same acoustic, right? Same dynamics. If you have a lot of that same, then it can become monotonous and boring, even if it's like a cool vocal and great lyrics and like interesting, sound design and stuff like that. So one of my biggest tips for you would just be, we got to wake this up a little bit. And it doesn't mean you bring in rock drums, it doesn't mean you go crazy, but it could mean just taking an inversion of that chord and double tracking. It could be bringing the vocal forward 3 or 4 dB and adding a double to the center channel. And then also bringing forward those, harmonies on the outside, supporting the bass a little bit better, specifically on the hook, and then emptying out for the verses, right? A lot of what is there, I think is pretty well executed. But for me, it's going to come down to like I said, maybe better control of the vocal. So it's a little bit more distinct and it's a little bit more polished as far as like the melodies that you're hearing without being too toony, right? And then better support for the production so that it opens up and expands a little bit more. Otherwise, like I said, it can get a little bit monotonous. I like the like back of the room, like room mic feel too, especially here. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Da, da, da. But again, slightly better polish on like vocal melody. Again, when do you want us to sing? What do you want us to sing? Where do you want us to sing it, right? Every time that you release a song and you put it out there for the people to hear, you are inviting them into that production. You're inviting them into that space and you are dictating what they sing. And so if there's not a lot of clarity or support in what you're doing, it can be very, very challenging for other people to learn it and other people to latch onto it, right? When you write these melodies, you're not just writing your song and your melody and your idea. You are also telling people what to sing when they hear it and what they should memorize and what they should learn. So the more consistent and intentional you are with these melodies and how you phrase things and where you start and stop singing, how you build the production, the more likely it is that people are going to want to hear it again. They're going to latch onto it. They're going to relate to it, so on and so on. Hobby, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Is it Mattia? Thank you so much for hopping in as well. I appreciate y'all joining. But y'all show some love, man. Show some love to Isle of Salmon. The song is called Sick. I like the vibe. I mean, it's grungy, it's dark, it's mellow, it's moody. I think there's a lot of the aesthetic of this that is really, really nice to listen to. Now I just want to make sure that what is really chill and moody and nice to listen to doesn't become boring just because there's too much of that dynamic, right? Because a great thing, too much of it for too long, can end up feeling like a bad thing, right? It's like salt is great, but too much salt, you go over the edge, right? And kind of the same thing here. It's like there's a lot of great elements to this and a lot of great like texture that I mean, it's really interesting. There's some twists and turns in there, some cool vocal lines in there that I can really appreciate it. Too much in that little bubble right there, and it can start to become monotonous. So let's poke out of it every once in a while, build those dynamics, open up the double track and the acoustic, so on and so on. I think you'll be ready to go, man. Y'all show some love to John Salmon right here in the chat. And then also make sure y'all tap in the screen, share it the live with a few people. I'm not going to be on for super, super long. So I will probably close up the live here in just a little bit as well. But I appreciate y'all tapping in today. We will be live again tomorrow. So just in case you don't get heard today or you weren't able to submit in time, we will open up the line again tomorrow to take a brand new batch of music. I'm going to go watch Spider-Man. Have a great, hey, sounds fun, man. Sounds fun. Enjoy it. Enjoy the movie. Take a load off. We got Grant the Band in the building. Grant the Band in the building. Let me know where you're at. Let me know where you're at. Hop in the chat. Hop in the chat. Let's get into it. Grant the Band, there we go. This is Man on a Train, final song on our new EP that we released. This is the final track, Ran on a Train, and is about the feeling of working, leaving your family all day just to provide for them. Let's go. This is Grant the Band right here in the chat. The song you're about to hear is released, so go like it, go add it to your playlist, go stream it, go follow on DSPs, follow here on TikTok, so on and so on. All right, let's dive in, man. Let's dive in. Let me see. Let's see. So 2 there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'll probably close up after this one, potentially. Jeremiah, I got you. Thank you so much for the submission. Yeah, I'll probably close up the line here in just a hair. All right, let's run it. Any details you want me to know? Yeah, we're open for now. I'll close it after I'm done with this breakdown. No, you're fine. It's open now. I don't want it to get like 15 people and then I can't get to everyone. So I'm just going to close it a little bit early, but yeah, it's open now. No, you should be good. You should be good. And again, keep an eye on the line. You can kind of decide where you want to go. You can decide, kind of where you're positioned and stuff like that too. But yeah, you should be fine. I haven't closed it yet. All right, this is Man on a Train by Grant the Band. And then Grant the Band, let people know what you do as well. Let's go, Grant. Let's go. Since I was 6 years old, so 26 years that I've been playing piano. It depends on the live. We'll do a couple frees. I usually try to do a few every live if I can. Great vocal mix.
What a means to an end. Yeah, remember from where you came down the rocky lane.
That's awesome. I love that.
Watching it all flow by.
Beautiful harmonies, great positioning.
Rolling in and out. It's filled with soul and sound. From the sound to the bay. Yeah. Get up off that train, it'll rattle my brain, and I'm gonna make my way back to you.
Nice break.
If you like far away, you know I'd rather stay, but then I'm gonna make my way back to you.
Nice little brass stabs in there. Let's go.
My way back to you. Yeah, yeah.
It's a nice mix, man.
A car can lead the other like the blood between my brothers. Follow what makes you smile for miles and miles and miles and miles. Get up off that train, it'll make me go insane, and I wanna make my way back to you.
Love that early hit. That's great.
I feel like far away, you know I'd rather stay, but then I'm gonna make my way back to you, and make my way back to you. Have you figured it out? We run on fumes somehow. Have you figured it out? We run on fumes somehow. Have you figured it out? We run on fumes somehow. Should be falling down.
I like those hammers.
Can't be described what it feels.
This being the final in the EP, it's a 7.5 minute song, or 7:15, 7:13. Give a little bit more leeway for it being a longer song, especially being the final on the EP.
On what it is like.
Great musicianship though, man. It's really nice.
Feelings you can't describe. Get up on that train, it'll rattle my brain, and I wanna make my way back to you.
Got you, Stepno.
If you like far away, you know
100%.
I'd rather stay,
I'm proud of you, man. This is great.
my way back to you.
It's great quality. Retrack, what's up, Retrack?
Figured it out.
Swedish, welcome in.
We run on fumes somehow. Have you figured it out? We run on fumes somehow. Have you figured it out?
Harmony beat track. Ooh, is that what is that, like a sub 25? Do you know what they're using for the synth there? We're about to close the line. I will be doing a much longer live tomorrow. So for those of y'all who are not able to get in line in time, I will be going quite a bit longer tomorrow, but I'm going to close up the line right after this song. Tap, I got you in there though. Playing around with different synths. I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, of course I do, but I like it.
Have you figured it out? We run on fumes somehow. Have you figured it out? We run on fumes somehow. Have you figured it out? We run on fumes somehow. Have you figured it out?
Love the little portamento in there. Nice. Nice, nice. Let's go, man. Little modulation, little LFO at the end there. Y'all show some love, show some love, show some love. That is Grant the Band. Everybody show some love to Grant the Band right here in the chat. Amazing, amazing job. This is let me go to I want to make sure that I go to the EP so I can show people, tell people where to go. So let me see. Is it Maroki Lane? Is it Maroke? I want to make sure I get it right. But they just released an EP. They just released an EP. It is 5 songs. You got Horizon, Peace of Mind, Waking Up, Man on the Train, and Maroki. So definitely go stream it. They just released this EP. That was the final song. This is gonna be less of like a mix breakdown and stuff like that on this particular song, because we've heard all of the songs on this EP now. Definitely go show it some love and support. Go stream it, go like it, go add the songs to your playlist, go show it some love. Really, really well done. I mean, obviously just great raw musicianship, really, really great support. Awesome mix as well. I mean, it's a really, really clean and clear lead vocal mix with great positioning of the harmonies. And again, yeah, musicianship across the board. We have great guitars, we have great brass, we have a good pocket for the drums. Of course, we have great synthesis and soloing in the middle there as well. Y'all are doing an awesome job, man. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Let's chop through a couple elements here, but obviously this is a slightly different breakdown on this one in particular. Less critical of the structure here, as this is just like more of a release announcement and the bookend at the end of releasing this album now that we've heard all of. So definitely show some love. Follow Grant the Band right here in the chat. Let's chop through a couple elements here. We got to get back into the synths. And stuff like that, of course, too, because that's some of my favorite stuff to break down. But really quick, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and close the line. That way I can try to get to as many of y'all that are here in line as possible. Now, what that means is if you are in line already, if you have already submitted and you're in line, you are still in line, right? You're not getting cut or anything like that. In fact, you can still skip, you can still move, you can still go faster, you can still move around the consultation line and stuff like that. If you want to, that's completely up to you. I'm just closing it to new submissions so it doesn't get too stacked since I don't have as long today. However, I will be live longer tomorrow. I'll be live longer tomorrow. So definitely tap in then. But submissions, boom. Submissions are closed. Let's refresh and let's run this from the top. Let's chop into a couple elements here. For anyone on Long Island, a lot of Lear sound bites in there. Let's go. Tomorrow it'll be early afternoon. I would assume probably around 2 p.m. Central-ish. 2 p.m. Central-ish tomorrow. Long Island Railroad. Okay, got you. I mean, yeah, you can hear all of that, even like in the sampling in the background here too. Some of like the Foley that you almost have here as well. this feels like an intro to a TV show. Like I feel like this should be like the title, like intro song to like a Netflix show. I can't even think of one that would be similar, but I can picture it. I can picture it.
A man on a train.
I can see like the drone coming down through this town, like going underneath the light. It's like set in the 90s or like the early 2000s or something like that. It's like I can picture it. I can picture it. I like it.
Leaves it all behind so he can provide for what he left behind. Oh, what a
Really smooth vocal mix.
means to an
Let's get this hook.
end. Yeah, yeah.
But that's what I was hearing in the background. Now it's making more sense that it's the railroad. I was like hearing these voices in the background, and for a second I couldn't tell if it was like a TV show in another room or like I don't know what was going on. I'm just now realizing I didn't know if it was like a car passing that was playing something loud in the radio or a speaker. I don't know. I'm hearing it like for the first time. I was like, oh, that's like the railroad like announcements in the background right there. That's cool. That's cool. Now that I am aware that is happening in the song more often, I can pay attention to some of those little Easter eggs in there too. Yoko, welcome in. Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. Let's get into this. Let's get into this main hook here.
From the sound to the bay, yeah. Get up off that train, it'll rattle my brain, and I'm gonna make my way back to you. If you
High
like
pocket.
away,
It's really well done. I mean, specifically in this genre, it's really, really clean. It's really, really, really well executed. Tight stops on all of the instrumentation. Everything in the band, or everyone in the band, is working really well together. All that's really tight. Pockets are tight. Bass movement with the brass, the guitars, percussion. All of that is like really, really well established. It's great, man. Sounds awesome, especially in this space.
you know I'd rather stay, but then I'm gonna make my way back to you. Make my way back to you. Yeah, yeah.
Is there a little bit of organ in the background there, or is that just one of the synth layers in the background there as well? It sounds like maybe a little bit of like a sharper B3 or something like that in the background right there as well. Yeah, it sounds nice. It's just a, excuse me. It's just a perfect little glue in the background, fills out those mids a little bit more. That's a nice textural layer in the middle of the mix there. All right, let's get into the middle here. I want to get to the synths. Where are the synths at? Here we go. Let's get into the synths. We got some beautiful, trumpet here as well. I mean, overall, just musicianship wise, man, it's a really well executed track, top to bottom, and everyone is executing their instrument top shelf. Really, really well done. Great mix, great balance. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. There's more of the railroad in the back. What I love is I think those are all like manually played arpeggios, I'm pretty sure, right? That it's not like just sequenced in or anything like that. It's like actually all manipulated. There's some holds and then some movements and then some, triplets that come in there. There's all of these notes I'm pretty sure are all just played in. Great dynamics, awesome dynamics. Yeah, that's great because you can hear that there's some stops and some holds in there and some rhythmic changes. Those are awesome, man. Those are great.
Have you figured it out? Run on fumes somehow. Have you figured it out?
Yeah, great job, man. You should be really proud of this. Now that it's out too, man, I would, and you might already be doing this, I just haven't seen the page or whatever. I would just push song by song. You have released an album, and people will find that album largely through singles, especially when no one knows you exist. We've talked about this all the time, so you probably have heard me say it a bunch. But, most people don't care about your album until you've got a lot of movement, right? Until they're like, I have a fan base, and that fan base wants this album. They've been waiting for it, kind of a thing. When you now have an EP or an album out, people are going to find you through the individual record, and then hopefully go like it and stream the rest of the record and stuff like that. I'll release the singles first, then the album after. Yep, Waterfall out. Same thing with the marketing now. Same thing with now that you've released Waterfall, marketed those songs, so on and so on. Same thing now. Just market it as an individual song. This is Man on a Train, and this song stands on its own. And let the song stand on its own. They will find the other projects. My fans don't even care about albums. Yeah. I mean, in Tep, you're in a world where it is more common to kind of blast singles, right? There might be a time where you're putting out 2 singles a week or a single a week, and you're just blasting the algorithm. You're getting radio spin, you're getting satellite, you're getting small sync deals, bigger sync deals. Your game, Tep, is a volume game, a mass amount of records that hopefully 10 of them pop off and get you paid a whole lot, right? For other people, they're like, well, we have a full band, right? Yeah, exactly. That being said, every artist should do what I do. You're not wrong. Same thing here. Right? They made an album or an EP. It's 5-song EP. They made an EP. And then they released them as singles once a month or whatever it was, right? And that's just the way to do it. That's just the way to do it. Just split it up. Open it out, release at different times, and it's going to hit the algorithm better. You're going to get more movement for it. But yeah, just make sure in your marketing, like I was mentioning, the reality is until you get a little bit more movement, it doesn't mean you don't post that you have an album. Post that you have an album. You know what I mean? Post that you have one. You definitely should. But mainly post the songs, because that's what people are going to find. No one cares about the band project yet, and I hope they do. I hope they fall in love with what y'all are doing and grow to appreciate that. But this early on, most people are going to find the single. So promote the single, push the single, make content about the single, whether it's any one of those 5 or all different, post, one of those songs every day and then take 2 days off, and then you just cycle through them every week or whatever you need to do. But focus on the single. How do you get back to the list page? Same place you submit. So if you go to the submission form, there's a tab there that says see the queue. What's up, Jason? Welcome in.
Have you figured it out?
And Jeremiah got you as well. And then we open up those filters a little bit. You also have these, different, that's a different key. Don't worry about it. But we have these portamento bends between your fifths and octaves on the synth as well. They give it that, it's got that nice little bend and movement between the two. So it makes the synth sound awesome right there. I love it. It's just a very subtle portamento, very, very subtle glide right there. And it really gives it some life in the background there. It immediately becomes more distinct in the mix, especially as you open the filter. Awesome, man. Great job. Great job. Great job. Great closer, too. That's a great album closer. Great high fifth. Beautiful. Fantastic. Fantastic. So good, man. It's so good. It's really, really well done. It's really, really well done. Kelsey, where'd you go? Because yeah, it's the exact same place you submit. Exact same. The list is changing all the time, so I don't like telling people the number because that could change in 5 seconds. And so I don't typically like telling people the number because a bunch of people could not be here, or a bunch of people could skip and move around, and so I try to just let people go to the submission place. So I can show you. I'll show you on my phone really quick, just so you can kind of see where it's at. Otherwise, people get mad because they're like, why can't I see it? So when you go to you go to my profile and you click on the link tree right there. So when you click on, there we go, focus. There we go. At the top where it says submit. So you submit your music. Dun, 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 dun. Let me see. All right, and then you go to, you found it? Yeah, I was gonna say, once you go to submit at the bottom, for anyone, so I could just show anyone, right? When you go to the bottom, it says see the queue. You scroll down a notch there and you'll see it. That way, I just don't want to say it. I'll be like, hey, you're 15th or something, and then next thing you know, you're 22nd because someone came in or whatever. I want to make it as clean as possible. All right, man. Y'all show some love one more time to Grant the Band. Go stream their new EP as well. Find them. No, you're totally good. It happens. I was like, I don't usually see it from. I'm always on the host side. I have a different interface, so I'm always on the host side of it. And so sometimes I'm like, well, actually, I don't know where it is. I'll just find it on my phone really quick. You're not alone in that. You're not alone in that. But y'all show some love. Please show some love to the family. Grant the Band meant a lot to me. Reflecting on the days of riding on the train to and from the city. 100%, man. Amazing job. Everything that y'all have sent in has been so exciting, so well put together, so dynamic, man. Y'all are great musicians. You're investing in great mixes as well, which helps, right? It's not just like really under polished, right? It feels very dynamic and very well structured. Y'all show some love. Sounds good, Kelsey. Sounds good. Of course. Let's keep it rolling, y'all. We got Jeremiah. I've got a handful of songs left, y'all. Jeremiah in the building. This is instrumental and sort of calm. I wrote everything from scratch, as in playing from intuition. I never had a piano teacher, nor was taught music theory. This is part of the newest released album, Basilica of the Soul's Psalter. Let's go. Yeah. Talk to me a little more. Talk to me about what you're doing. Of course, Grant. Of course. I appreciate y'all all of y'all in the band, man. I appreciate y'all so much as well. Talk to me about what you do, the role that you play in your music as far as production, mixing, if there's vocals on here, what vocals. Talk to me a little bit about your music and the role that you play in it, and let's get into it. This is Tending the Sacred Garden by, is it E. Jeremiah? I want to make sure that I get it right. Let's pull it up. Pull it up. It's loading. Putting up motions into instruments. Okay. But everything that I'm hearing is you. Mino, what's up? Thanks for tapping in. Jeremiah. Okay, perfect. I want to make sure I get it right. It's pretty. Hey, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. This is Jeremiah, a couple chats above you. And y'all, the line is closed, but we're going to be open again tomorrow afternoon. Hang out for a little bit, though. We might get to a couple frees today if we can. Well, I like the triplet. The triplet's nice. Who are some of your inspirations musically? Who do you like? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I feel that. What are you using for your strings? What plugin are you using for your strings? Okay, cool. Not BBC Orchestra, right? The Spitfire one? The free one? Got you. Y'all, show some love. Show some love. Are they only Cody Jackson? Yeah, 100%. We have a couple people in here that just send voice memos. They send just like phone recorded stuff. There's all kinds of variety as far as quality, genre, style, so on and so on. So absolutely. Now, we are closed for today. Actually, let me go ahead and put my close sign up just really quick. Y'all can still hang out. We're still here. We still got a couple more tracks to get to. But the line is closed for today. So y'all show some love, man. Show some love. That is Tending the Sacred Garden by Jeremiah right here in the chat. Show them some love. Go follow here. It does look like the song is distributed. So go show it some love. Go show it some love. Go stream it. Go like it. Go add it to your playlist. Let's dive into it. So let's mainly talk about structure here, because I think you have a good intuition for your melodies. You have some great melodies and some great movements. Like you said, you're not a classically trained musician or anything like that, and you don't need to be. You don't have to be. Although as much as I value music theory and value how it can help you with your understanding and the way that you can repeat the successes that you have in music by knowing what you're doing. There's some value in that, but you absolutely don't need to have some masters of music theory to make beautiful music. So I don't want you to put any self-pressure on yourself, for feeling like you need to know it. So let's get into some details, though. We can still talk about structure and maybe some creative ways we could build this out dynamically where it's a little bit smoother. That's what I'm going to look for here. So let's run it from the top. Let's get into some details. But again, the song is out, so I'll be speaking towards a future record. So on the next, cinematic piece that you do, that's where you can focus your attention, because obviously this one's already out. Let's run it from the top. I'm going to pull up some strings while this loads up. That's this early moment here, beautiful. Okay, while I let this play through, we're gonna open something up here. We're gonna play some strings, and I'll show you kind of what I'm listening for here really briefly. Probably the half section. Okay. So the thing that I want you to work on as you're building these out, I'm gonna do this with a little bit of nuance, of course. Walking, thinking, and it's and in the end, it's chaos pleading. Yeah, there's some things I want you to focus on, and one is trying to capture this in a way that feels really natural and really organic, right? The natural, kind of pushing and pulling that happens with an orchestra. What will happen with really simple orchestral productions like this? And I've talked about this with so many different people, especially if you're getting into scoring or you're getting into productions like this. The more movement there is to what you're doing, the better. Anytime that something feels like strict and digital and robotic and too quantized and like too on the nose, the less natural it feels and the more you start to kind of disconnect from it. Specifically in this genre, right? When you're imagining an orchestra, you're imagining a symphony and, a quartet of cellists and people playing all these different instruments, right? So the more you can create like different movements like that, where like not just like a couple strings at the top that are moving through a few melodies and just the piano playing its thing, but those strings start to ebb and flow. So like maybe we start, we're on the, you start there, but then we start to bring in, and you can start to like slowly automate up. Again, if you're like opening your dynamics a little bit, you can start to automate those to have these like, you can start to build those a little bit and then automate your dynamics. So Clint Mansell could be a good reference. Death is a Road to Ostell. Definitely. And Yucca's great. Yucca works in this space a lot, right? So one of the things that you'll hear, and again, there's some beautiful melodies that you have, Jeremiah. Some beautiful melodies I like a lot. What I want you to focus on then is once you put in these melodies, you put them in MIDI or you've added them to just through your MIDI controller and stuff like that. That's where I want you to get into automating, right? And the automation is like, for me, I'll use like the mod wheel, right? You hear even just that little bit of movement right there. And quite literally all I'm doing is like playing the chord, moving the mod wheel a little bit, playing another one, bringing it back down slowly. And what you're trying to mirror is more of the natural movement. And we don't have to get too deep into this, but the natural movement of the instrument, right? Where it's like you're going to have people like playing these instruments, right? And like different bow movements and stuff like that. And then they go slower. And then maybe there's like a little bit of tremolo and stuff like that. But we're mirroring some of that natural. That feels so much more alive. And this is a $30 string plugin. This is not like some super nice string plugin or anything like that. But it feels so much like you're hearing a real orchestra. There's more depth to it. There's more, like you said, fullness to it, right? And so when you're playing these strings here, there's nothing wrong. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. You're not playing, there's no wrong answer to this, right? It's art. That's the beautiful thing about it. But we're really relying on like one high cello to fill all of this energy and then one like low octave on the piano and a high piano. So what I would do is still have all of this up here. Still have all of that stuff at the top, but then start to fill in with more of these, right, underneath it. Start to fill in with some of the pads kind of in the middle of the mix right there. Because if it's all low octave on the piano way down here, really bright high strings over here, and really bright piano, there's nothing here in the middle of the mix. And this is where so much of the fullness of strings and piano lie. Same thing with the piano, right? Just as a quick example, I'll jump back over to the piano for a moment. So if same thing on the piano, right? If it's all, nothing wrong with that. It's a pretty sounding piano, and you have a good sounding piano too. But the more you can fill in this middle section here, that note right there. But you get the idea. If we're filling in this middle a little bit more, you can still have layers where we can still play some of these high notes up here, but we're not relying on the whole mix being super split, where it's like super deep, super high, and nothing ever fills out the middle. But especially on the strings, I would have lots of different layers of strings doing small things, as opposed to relying on like one or two plugins of strings doing all of it, right? So like right now, if you just have like one string plugin, and that one string plugin is playing like the low notes, and you're trying to play the high notes and blend them and automate them, it's a lot to handle on one thing. Where if you're watching an orchestra, there's 40 individual people playing all of these different parts, some of them playing the same parts or different articulations of it, different string positioning, different attack modes and stuff like that. But for the most part, they're supporting 40 different instruments that are all supporting the production itself, right? So it's better, in my opinion. Thank you. Is it Maslow? Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. When you're building an orchestral production, you're going to get more control and more nuance in your dynamics if you individualize more of what you're doing. It doesn't mean you can't still have an instrument that is doing multiple chords, right? You can still have, like if I switch back to the strings over here really quick, you can still have some. This, it's one plugin playing multiple string parts. You can still have that, but it's going to be better if you have like 10, you don't have to do this, but 10 different string plugins, right? And each one is handling a specific kind of pocket or register of that string in a different movement. So maybe one is doing, just this progression here. And then another one is doing, I'll put it a little harder. Maybe one plugin's just doing that part, and then when you blend them all together, you have all of this movement and all of this like texture and character. You get the idea. You know what I'm talking about, right? You have so many more options. And if you want to change something, you just change one instrument, right? If you're like, oh, I don't want that melody, you just edit one instrument, and you can maintain the chords and the pads of all of the other instruments. And then you support that with the piano. You support it with a couple other things. Anyways, you get it. Let me get a little deeper into the song here real quick. It's pretty though. I mean, I like what you're doing. The fact that even like self-proclaimed, you don't have a ton of like technical experience doing what you're doing, I do feel like you have a lot of potential in this space. You have a good intuition for it. Do you pitch the classical songs for sync? I haven't, dude. I've worked with one other producer for sync stuff with a couple different libraries, but I haven't pitched anything myself. And I want to and I need to. It's just hard to find where to go sometimes. It's chaotic out there. So you can hear right here, we're relying on that one string, right? But we can fill out those middles a little bit more, right? Oops. Fill out the middle of the mix, and it doesn't feel like we're just here and here. Right? That's what I'm talking about. It'll kind of help glue together some of the choppiness of the piano. Boom, boom, boom. This is not a negative thing, but it can help kind of blend everything together and glue it together a little bit more. And like what would be cool here is we go into, oops, that's the strings. Where's my piano? I'll go to my brighter piano here really quick, right? This, wait, what is, oh, it's a different compressor in there. Hold on one second. Let's switch to this one. This, right, we get into this kind of poppy moment right there with the piano. I like that. I mean, I think that's a great texture to have. So that is, again, if you have multiple plugins doing different things, and then you switch over here to what's called the spiccato, and you go. Right, a little bit bit more pop to it. I'll bypass the piano here really quick too, right? And if the piano goes into boom, dum, dum, and it's nice and choppy, and then you all of a sudden have you get a little bit more stab out of it. A little bit more energy out of it, that or a scale-it intro, it can wake it up, right? Because right now the piano gets more energy, but since you're relying on one string, again, I'm repeating the same point, but since we're relying on one string to handle all of your dynamics over the piano, it just kind of keeps doing what it's doing. Still pretty, but it keeps doing what it's doing, as opposed to this piano, this piano changes vibes right here. Can mellow out a little bit more, right? And then you can go back to smooth, right? But when you're following the dynamics of the song, yeah, that's all I want to do, Jeremiah. That's all I want to do. Is I'm not here to take over the song. I'm not here to like tell you what to do with it at all. All I want to do is get your creative wheels spinning, get the juices flowing. You know what I mean? I want you to be like, oh, that's a great way to approach this. This is a different way I could do this. I could add this to the next record, whatever it may be. I just want to get your wheels spinning, right? And so one of the things I want you to listen for is, for one, multiple layers so you have more control over your dynamics. It's so important with cinematic music for scoring and stuff like that. We need to be able to move in and out of the song and then not feel like it's stagnant. It's too much of the same sound, same dynamic, right? And the other side of that is following, what's up, Jay? Following your dynamics with your production. So if the piano goes to something a little bit choppier, if we just keep doing the same cello loop over the top, or like, violin loop over the top, then we haven't really quite shifted the energy that much. Barely. We've kind of shifted it with the piano, but if we shift it with the piano and then we also, we start to give it a little bit more pop out of the strings as well. It just changes the dynamics so much more. All right, let's get into the outro here really quick. Band's music reaches many people. Jay, we'll be live again tomorrow. Probably around 2 p.m. Central-ish. 2 p.m. Central-ish. We'll open up the lines again. I appreciate you tapping in. And then, smooth all of that out, make it nice and, reflective and open. Y'all show some love to Jeremiah. Jeremiah, I appreciate you a lot. I like what you do. I think you're creative. I think you're intentional. You're intentional with your music. You're doing a lot of great stuff. So for me, this is just going to come down to a little bit more like variation in how you approach it, because I think your intuition is good. I think the way that you approach it is good. Now I just want like more and deeper into that, like more intentionality. It's like, oh, that's a great lead melody on the cello. Now let's open this up into 8 different parts, give you some control, give you some dynamics, give you some, mid swells and some low cellos, some timpani rolls at the bottom once the piano and the bass comes back in, stuff like that. Right now, let's just dig into this a little bit more and take what is a simple structure, beautiful, but a simple structure, and expand it so it feels like it has nuance, feels like it has, a little bit more character to it. But y'all show some, yeah, exactly, more texture, 100%. Y'all show some of the Jeremiah. The song you heard is released, Tending to the Sacred Garden. Go stream it. Same name that you see right here in the chat. Let's keep the music rolling. We got Tepno in the building. Tep, hop in the chat. I know you're here because I can see you right there. But I can't say it on TikTok. Dude, of course, man. Of course. Anytime. This is Tepno. Get the F out of my life. I have to say that because it's TikTok and they're fake. All right, this is Get the F Out of My Life by Tepno. Let's get into it, man. Update on a song you reviewed a month ago. Oh, let's get into it.
All alone I seem to go.
Oh yeah, I remember this one.
The winds of change can blow me.
Talk to me about what you've updated.
I didn't do what I was told. Too many years gone by, now I'm nowhere.
I remember this guitar, yeah. Is this the RE20? Is this the RE20?
I'm sick of being criticized all the time for being alive. I'm sick of shitty people always trying to dim my light. I was so naive, I was thinking what I was doing was right. Now get the fuck out of my life. I want peace in my prime, so get the fuck out of my life.
Yeah.
And all the pain I gave to you,
That's better.
all the hope I thought
I feel it more. I feel it more.
I was in my world always, I suppose, yes. Too many years gone by, now I'm nowhere. I'm sick of being criticized all the time for being alive. I'm sick
What's
of
up, D-Busy?
shitty
Good to see you, man.
people always trying to dim my light. I was so naive, always thinking what I was doing was right. Now get the fuck out of my life. I want peace in my prime, so get the fuck out of my life. Get the fuck out of my life.
You feel it though. I mean that in a good way. Like you feel it. Like it feels real.
Get the fuck out of my life.
Let's go, man.
I want peace in my prime, so get the fuck out of my life. Get the fuck out of my life. I seem to go. The winds of change can blow me somewhere.
I mean, y'all show some love, man. Show some love. Torvik declared. Show some love, man. Show some love to Tepno in the building. If you don't know Tepno, go check out his stuff. A quick Google search will show you what you need to know about Tepno. Search him up on Spotify. That'll show you what you need to know about Tepno. That's the real deal right there. Please show some love to Tepno in the building. That's the family. Love what you do, man. To me, this feels way more like a record. And like you said, I mean, what's ironic? What's ironic is, like you said, I didn't write it to make a pop song or a pop hit. Sometimes these are randomly, sometimes these are the songs that hit. You know what I mean? Like, Love Yourself, Justin Bieber, even like Lonely, like songs like that are like, they're not like what you would expect from like a modern pop record. They're hyper simplistic. Sometimes those hit, man. Sometimes the content works. Sometimes it just does. Sometimes it just works. Exactly, because there's this, here's the thing, is you bridge the gap. You get the pop repetition, and I think that's important. I think you get a pop structure, pop repetition, pop format with like a very like raw indie production aesthetic. And I think the bridging of those can do really, really, really well if done well. If done right, if done strategically, because there's nothing about this that is like incredibly, incredibly dynamic, but it is something that you grab onto lyrically and just format wise. So man, let's get into it. Let's talk through a couple things. But man, I think you're about ready to like get this out there. I'll bullet point really quick. It makes it easier. I'll bullet point really quick and then we'll go through it. Little bit of low mid mud in the vocal, whatever, easy to fix. 100, 300 hertz, little boomy. I still want the vocal close, and I like that. So it's close, it's compressed, it's done really well, but it's a little bit boomy. Take some of that mud out, you'll be fine. A little bit of sibilance, slightly lower on the threshold of the de-esser, boom, easy. 5-minute revision, and I think most of that structure is ready to go. I don't want you to overproduce this. I don't want you to do too much to it. Like I said last time, I wanted you to I think strip it down even more. And I think you have. I think like bringing in the drums strategically, but letting the song marinate for a bit. You know what I mean? Like let it just sit, let it settle, let it be what it is for a little while. I think is your superpower with the song. But yeah, a little bit of pulse on the vocal, a little bit of low mud, a little bit of sibilance. It's so simple that those S's really slice through. So fine tune that frequency. Fine tune where it's grabbing it, slightly lower thresholds, easy to. So easy. Let's run it from the top, man. This is great. It's easy. It's simple.
All alone I seem to go. The winds of change can blow me somewhere.
Is this with the C800? Because I thought originally you recorded this with the RE20, right? Or am I mistaken? Find the C800 is sibilant on me with the Neve on a soft low range. Or is this one with the C800 as well? Shane's in the building. What's up, Shane? No, that was the difference. Okay, got you. I mean, that's the thing, man. Especially with like this one is the C800G. Yeah. It really just depends on the vocal, man. It depends on the range. Like for different people obviously like express and project differently in different ranges as well. So it really just depends, man. I mean, for some people, the C800 just shines. I mean, in most of the songs that I've heard with you, the C800 really just shines. But it is a very bright microphone. It is. It is a pretty bright microphone. And so you just got to be aware. It's also how it's processed. It's also your proximity to it potentially, right? Like there's a lot of factors in it. But I mean, obviously the recording itself is really clean. It's clear. You get a nice warmth through the, if you sing hard, I mean, I think that's why it works so well for like pop and R&B vocals. So if you're projecting a lot, if you're backed off of the C800, 10, 12, 18 inches, you're backed off of it a little bit and you're projecting a lot. So like modern pop vocals, R&B vocals, hard rap vocals, stuff like that, it'll shine for you and it'll take that energy really, really well. If you go for soft, I find it's not as good. Yeah, you might want something like with a little bit more body in it. Chad, would you rather live 1 year in the 90s, all bills paid, and or a Mo grandmother? Well, the Mo grandmother's only like $900. So, I mean, 90s all bills paid is the move. 90s all bills paid, I can just work for a little bit and just buy the grandmother. All right, let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling here.
I didn't do what I was.
Yeah, but I think because of the amount of energy that you're getting on it, yeah, 90s, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. There's so much energy behind your vocal here, right? You're not getting as much diffusion of the sibilant. So to me, it's just because of proximity, mitigating some of the plosive, mitigating some of the, the low mud right there, a little bit of control over sibilants, game over, done, easy. Especially if you're wanting to keep most of the production structure, the same.
Too many years gone by, now I'm nowhere. Now I'm nowhere. Now I'm nowhere.
It's a good tone. Little harmonic in there.
I'm sick of being criticized all the time for being alive. I'm sick of shitty people always trying to dim my light.
I would keep to Mazzel, I agree with some of what you're saying as far as having some width, right, and opening this up just a little bit. Obviously, you can do that on that guitar if you want to open it up a little bit wider, push it out a little bit more. I also think you can do it with some of the amplifiers that you have in there. You have a little string that just comes in the background right there, and a couple other layers, little bell tone. I would at the very least get some of those like super wide, right? Because the guitar, it's in stereo, but most of it I feel like is presented in the mix within like 50 to 60% of center channel, right? So it's not super, super open, and it is one of the very few elements of this mix. There's not a whole lot else that goes on, even when, percussion comes in a little bit later. So it could be nice to maybe make sure like your bells and those strings are like ultra wide. They feel really bright and shimmery. They're really wide. Maybe they have a little bit more reverb on them because the guitar is handling most of it and slightly closer. It's pretty wide, but it's slightly closer to center as far as being the main element that you're hearing in here.
I was so naive.
I love the texture of it though. It's beautiful.
Now get the fuck out of my life. I want peace in my.
See, I really like the additions of this, the swells in the background right there. I would just reflect a little bit more. For me, take that bell that you have, and you might already have some of this on there, but you can just expand it. You can push it a little bit farther. Take the bell that you have, excuse me. Take the bell at a really wide, the Studio D is great for this. Add, a really wide chorus to it, and then like Valhalla reverb for like 7 seconds. You know what I mean? And use it, and it just washes super, super wide in the mix, all the way on the outside for the next 5, 6, 7 seconds. You know what I mean? Like open it up like crazy. That to me is one of the I don't think you need a lot of other non-drum elements there until the drums come in. I'm personally fine with the space. I feel like it gives it, especially when your additional vocals come in, I think it gives it this really raw feeling that I like, and everyone's going to have a different taste on that. I like it being simpler, but the things you do add in, I'd make them super intentional. Really wide, lots of reverb, chorusing, so that they really open up and impact the mix. Otherwise, it can still feel kind of dry, which I want for the guitar and I want for the vocal. Yeah, let's listen to verse 2.
Prime, so get the fuck out of my life.
Like that little bell right there, I think we can open that up a little bit more.
And all the pain I gave to you, and all the hope I thought we'd go somewhere.
personally, I mean, this is a stylistic. It's a stylistic decision. I like it being really dry like this, to be honest with you. Can you do more? Could you do more creatively? Maybe you could. I don't personally think it needs it. I think this is a song that lives in content. I think this is a song that can be really simple and really restrained and still go really, really far for you by just playing portions of like the verse leading into the hook and letting that be a lot of the content and where that lives. I don't think you need a lot right here. In my personal opinion, I think adding the delay of the vocal with the overdrive on it and little formant shift on it, I think that's doing enough for me to shift the dynamics just barely. It slims down because you don't have the strings and the pads at the top, and then you add that vocal in there. I like it the way that it is because you expand in drums in here in just a little bit. In personal opinion, I wouldn't add too much.
I was in my world always, I suppose, yes. Too many years gone by, now I'm nowhere. I'm sick of being criticized all the time for being alive. I'm sick of shitty people always trying to dim my light. I was so naive, always thinking what I was doing was right. I get the fuck out of my life. I want peace in my prime.
It could be nice. Once you control some of the mud on the vocals right there, I like it, Tep. I like it. Once you control, like we said, mud, sibilant, stuff like that, I would love to hear, I think there might be one in the background there, but I would love to hear like a high octave on what is now the hook. Like once the drums come in and get the fuck out of my life, when you go into that hook right there, it would be nice to have like the high octave and a falsetto tracked on the left and the right, at least to accent the hook right there. But maybe...
I'm sick of being criticized all the time for being alive.
Right there, left and right.
I'm sick of shitty people always trying to dim my light.
Or maybe leave this dry.
I was so naive,
and then
always thinking what I was doing was right. I get the fuck out of my life. I want peace in my prime.
Right there, right? Like maybe even just starting there. So like on the, the last section right there. Have like a high vocal right there, double track left, double track right. And then when you're going into like the tag of this at the end of the song, maybe keep the high octave in there. Like super simple. Like again, I don't want to overproduce this. I don't want you to go too crazy on this because I still like the rawness. I still like it to feel a bit restrained. But I do think if you can have like very subtle jumps right there, right? Whether it's like expanding those elements in the verse, whether it's a little octave here, whatever it may be, like super simple, super distinct elements. I don't think you need to do too much though. But even if you just use the tag on the out of my life part and just layer that, that's easy stuff.
Fuck out of my life. Get the fuck out of my life. So get the fuck out of my life.
Bunch of reverb on them.
I want peace in my prime. So get the fuck out of my life. Get the fuck out of my life.
It's like easy stuff. In the background, subtle layer. Yeah, because I'm noticing that bell's in the middle too. If you could get that bell outside, yeah, just a little subtle, just background, tons of reverb on them, right? If you can get that bell out in stereo, that'll help open up the guitar too, because that's just like the accent to the guitar, right? It's just like the start of your phrasing, the start of your bars right there. So if you can get that little bell tone, since everything else, vocal, drums, bass, all of that's kind of right here in the middle, you can like open up the other stuff pretty wide, like as wide as you want to make it. I think that'll help expand the mix a little bit more too, so that it doesn't feel too collapsed or anything like that, man. But yeah, this is by far better than the last time that I heard it, right? The last time it felt too much like it was trying to be, I think, more of a pop song. There's just more percussion structure, like more things that were like making it feel energetic. I really, really appreciate the simplicity of a record like this. You're not doing too much. It feels simple. It feels open. And I can really, really appreciate that, man. Show some love to Tep, man. Show some love to Tep. If you don't know Tepno, Tepno is a monster producer. What he does is simple and it's clean, but it's wildly effective. And we're talking about someone here with and I'm not kidding here. You can go check it yourself. 500 million plus streams. 500 million plus streams to his name as someone who self-produces all of his stuff. Wildly impressive. It's really, really good stuff. But all of it is from this same soul though, like this same like simple production, almost has 600 million streams. Amazing, man. It's amazing. But from this perspective of like simple, repetitive, focused on like listener-centric, easy background stuff. And that stuff gets placed. The stuff gets picked up. It gets satellite spin. It gets, obviously it gets a lot of streams. And so, man, it's someone who knows what they're doing and understands that sometimes the simplest option is the best option. It's like the path of least resistance. Now, sometimes I really love the complexity and the fun, fancy stuff, and that's great. But it also just, comes down to like, what are you trying to make? What is the goal of the song? Where are you pointing at? So on and so on. Good song for singing, 100%. This is like, I can imagine like a show on Netflix, and it's like a college breakup or something like that, and it's like raining and they're crying in the room or something. I can picture the environment of the song, if you will, and just get the fuck out of my life, and that's or something like. I can imagine it, man. Y'all show some love to the family. That is Techno in the building. We had our last couple songs here. Jamie Kearny, let me know if you're in the chat. But show some love to the family. Y'all follow Techno, show him some love and support. Go stream his music. He's got 600 million streams, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Facts, Techno. Facts. All right, we got our last two artists today. We got Jamie and let me see, Sonorous. Jamie and Sonorous are going to close this up today. Let me see. That's gonna be. I think that's pretty far down if I'm looking correctly. I don't think we'll get to that today. It's a shorter live today. A little bit shorter live today. We'll be live. Oh no, you're a ways down. You're a ways down there. It'll be a longer live tomorrow. We'll be on for a bit longer tomorrow, but it's a little bit shorter today. So our last couple here. All right, we're going to go back to back with Jamie. This is Regrets and Memories. We're coming to the end of the production on this. Just looking for advice on anything we could touch up or change before sending it for mastering. Let's go.
All these dreams I kept holding,
and I've heard this song before, so we should be able to go at a good pace. That'd be awesome, Teb. That'd be awesome, man. Not necessary, but that'd be fun. Especially if it's Euphoria. This is sounding good, Jamie. It's love, man. That's love. I appreciate it. I gotta chat with you soon about where I should put my energy as far as like reaching out to people for stuff, because I'm a little lost in that space. I appreciate it, man. That's love. I say what I mean what I say.
Reliving past stress, pain in my conscience. All the damage is done. Whatever happened, you can't imagine. But what did it cost? Drunk on regrets and memories. Maybe
Definitely the best I've heard this, Jamie.
Watching, waiting for progress, hoping that I don't get lost.
Yeah, way more cohesive.
guitar bits that go like boom, 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 boom. But do you think there could be some sort of like finish to it where it's like, on some sections it goes like boom, 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 boom? That's the only way I can explain it.
Nice. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate that so much. Y'all show some, let's play it again. Y'all show some love, man. Jamie Kearny in the building. Let's run it. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into it. Thank y'all so much for the follows on Twitch. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate it a lot. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into some details here. Yeah, I think this is so much farther along. So, I mean, I think like the main chunk of this song, as far as balance, as far as like your approach to it, I think it's so much cleaner than any other time that I've heard it. This outro to me is actually one of the pain points here. There's a couple notes. I think we've talked about some of them maybe. There's a couple notes there. Someone's in the notes I get on my guitar parts. Yeah, drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat there. Because I'm listening for those, and then there's one other note, but I want to hear what you have to say first, and there's a little bit of delay. So I'll start the song, but drop it in there, and I want to hear a couple things here. And let's get into it. And then for y'all, for those of you, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Is it Doggy? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If y'all are coming in, you're wanting to submit, we are closed for today, but we're going to be live again tomorrow for a good probably 4 or 5 hours. So definitely make sure that you are subscribed or followed or following where it makes sense. That way we can make sure we get you in line the next time as well. I know I meant the voice clip we had. Oh yeah. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I love it. I love having those little like raw studio moments on the track as well. Let's run it. And we'll talk about a couple things. But yeah, there's a few little things I'm going to listen for. Some of it is clarity of parts in the outro. Yeah, no worries. I mean, most of this is smooth. It's easy. It's got tension.
Why don't you call from the backseat based off what
The only thing I would just be aware of is starting to build up some mud in the middle of the mix right here. There's just a lot kind of starting to fill in that space, whether it's the length of the reverbs, the prominence of the reverbs themselves, how wet some of those reverbs are on certain channels right there, how loud maybe the electric guitar is compared to the acoustic guitars. Keep in mind that largely speaking, what is driving this song is drums, bass, acoustic guitars. That's really like the core of the song is like a non-negotiable, or those couple of instruments right there. So make sure that those are like clean and clear. And then maybe even during the verse, and this is where automation is going to come in and be your friend here, is maybe pull back on these guitars, like the electric guitars, a little bit for the verses so we can clarify it, give some room for the vocal. It doesn't feel like everything's vying for your attention all the time in the mix, but it feels like there's some space for that vocal to exist.
Why don't you call me a taxi?
Like all the all those little background. I mean, what they're doing is fine. I don't have any issue with that. Like they're living in their space well. But I think they're being this one's on the right, this one pops up on the left. Double track acoustics, layers of vocals come in. I think there's just a lot of energy right there in the middle of the mix, and I don't want to lose the dryness and like the weight that we have behind the vocal, acoustic, drums, and bass. That to me is, those are like the non-negotiables that need to have clarity. So if anything steps on that at all or distracts from it, we can settle it back in the mix a little bit.
I wanna go home.
And then obviously guitar forward here. That's perfect. I want this as a top line. I want this nice and forward. Yeah, I don't mind the way this sounds here. And then here again, now we have dun, 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 dun. All of this energy still back in the mix. This is where I would again pull back by 3 or 4 dB, depending on stylistically where you want it to be. Pull back on some of these electric guitars during the verse, so that again we're back to bass, acoustic, vocal, and then drums, with some filler, with some space, with some melodies, but they're not taking over the mix. There's going from the hook to the verse here. Obviously, you can hear that the dynamic kind of changes and like the movement changes a little bit, but energetically, it still kind of sounds just as loud because a lot of the same things are still just there with a bunch of reverb and, you know, a bunch of bright EQ and stuff like that. So I think the more you can push and pull this dynamic a little bit, I think the better off the song's going to be dynamically. All right, let's get back into the hook here. Let's get to the main outro here because I think that to me is most of the rest of this we've talked about, and I think it sounds great. Right there. So 225. If you feel like diving into it, feel like melodyning the guitars and stuff like that. It's almost clear. I can kind of hear it. Yeah, it's just, again, there's a lot of things that are trying to be forward, right? And so if we can mitigate that easily, then I don't think you'll have any issues. I got lost in the shoegaze vibe and forgot about the vocals. I mean, dude, it happens. And sometimes it's necessary, right? Not every genre and every song and every genre is it a requirement that the vocal is like bright, poppy, forward, right? It's like sometimes you do need to settle it into the production a little bit more and let it live in its space. In this instance, I do feel like the lyrics should have a little bit more of a front row in the song. So I do think it could be forward a little bit, but sometimes you got to get lost in the sauce a little bit and just let it be in the background, let it float around a little bit. Okay, here on the outro. Okay, so 225. 225, there's a dip in the note right there. If you feel like addressing it, it's there for you to address. I'll find the other ones real quick, just in case you feel like digging into it. If not, they'll be there and they're there. And if you're fine with that, you're fine with that. You know, that doesn't really matter. Let me hear where the other one is really quick, and then we'll just talk about the dynamics here really briefly, and then we'll move to the other one. So 225 is one. Right there, 247. So it's like the last note. It's one of those early ones. So 225 and 247. You'll hear the walk down right there.
I liked it.
You hear the little movement right there. You know, ironically enough, similar to what you're saying at the end here.
It's like BM.
It's pretty much that last bureau. The last bureau right there at the very end of 247 is the other of the, I think one of the only other ones that you need to fix right there. So now let's go into the dynamics here really quick. Come on, play the song. Play the song. Doesn't want to. Give me a sec. I got to refresh it. Hold on. Okay, so here's the thing that I'm hearing. There's a thing that I like, but I think the thing that I like is also one of the pain points of this outro right here. What I like is these melodies and counter melodies and this call and response between different layers. The thing that I think is also kind of the pain point of this is we're hearing 4 different melodies kind of overlap each other and step on each other a little bit. It says submissions closed. Yep, that's correct. Right here as well. We'll be live again tomorrow. Probably around 2 p.m. Central. So again, the thing that I like, I think, is also one of the pain points of this record, where, again, I like the different melodies. I like the melody to counter melody. I like the back and forth between these different things. But I think because we have these trills, we have trills on the right side going pretty much the whole time, following the main melody. And then we have like another melody in the middle, 2 melodies on the left side that sometimes are playing the same thing, sometimes not playing the same thing. And so you have all of these kind of doing different things. My recommendation would be to maybe more distinctly, kind of like you did here in the middle, where this is a distinct lead supported by doubles. Distinct lead supported by doubles. If you could have still trills on the right side, right, doing its thing over here, and a more defined lead with less of the counters happening, I think it would be cleaner. I think it would be a little bit better established. It's a little bit noisy right here. Some of that could be intentional as well, but I find my brain getting a little fuzzy and a little muddy when I'm like hearing the trills happening over here. And then we have like a lead melody kind of doubling, but a little off time, a little bit in there, that one right there. And then another melody happening on the left side. And it's the back and forth between that just makes it a little bit messy and a little bit noisy. Maybe adding the fourth guitar was overkill and makes it a bit messy. I think so. I don't mind there being a lot of layers there as long as they're really supporting each other and they're very cohesive, right? So what I would say is I would probably have like the trills, right? And have those nice and wide. Those are handling almost like a pad, right? Those are kind of like an underline right there. And then have one lead melody that is forward. Dun, 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 whatever, right? And that's like you have a double of that guitar and it's closer to the middle of the mix and it's nice and prominent. That gets loud just like after the first verse, right? Just after the interlude right there. That's loud, it's prominent, gives you a lot of energy there. And then if you want to have a fourth guitar that's not the double and it's not the trills, because those are your three trills and then the double. If you want another guitar doing something else, just pull it push it all the way to the left and pull it way back, like 4 or 5 dB and filter it a little bit more. But I think similar to what we were talking about with the verses of if there's too many things that are kind of loud trying to be the main thing, that's when they're going to compete too much and it'll just get noisy, right? They can all be good things like we talk about all the time. Could all be good guitar lines and good melodies and, a cool sound, but all of them are kind of fighting to be in front. And so, and like vying for your attention. And that's where it's going to start to sound a little bit noisy. Y'all show some love, man. I don't think you're far off at all. I think if you can control the noise aspects of this, if you can control the mud aspects of this, you're going to be perfectly fine. Because most of the structure of this, I think, is fantastic. It's easy to listen to. It's nice and chill. I'm not worried at all about how y'all are going to work out the rest of this. Thank you so much for the follow, MTS. I appreciate it. All right, let's get into the second track here really quick. This is an early demo for one of the other songs in the EP. The vocals were recorded as we rewrote it. So they're just a rough version. Let me see of what it should sound like. Wondering if we could get any advice on the overall structure and other things we could add. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. A good idea of what to do. You, of course. Try to listen. I miss you for the rest of my life. We're closed for today. We're closed for today. We'll be live again tomorrow, though, MTS. We'll be live again tomorrow, so just make sure y'all are following and subscribed and all that good stuff, and we'll open up the line again tomorrow afternoon. All right, this is Outtake by Jamie Kearny. All right, we're almost there. Sonoris, let me know if you're in the chat. You're coming up next, and you're going to close us out.
Which path do I choose? Which path win or lose? All it takes is a photograph to miss you. All this that's at stake. Every second I waste isn't time enough to cauterize these wounds.
A little more like indie folk.
Oh no, am I losing my grip or is this another outtake? Oh no, have I shot the shit and missed or is this another outbreak?
I like the backgrounds.
Sit up on your throne, just throw me a bone, putting out the fire in my places. Keep my head up high, won't let my love die. I see the light burn out of your faces. Oh no, am I losing my grip or is this another outtake?
Yeah, it's scratch vocals. This is a raw demo.
Have I shot the shit and missed?
The vocals will be updated quite a bit.
Another outbreak.
Alani, welcome in.
I feel like I'm on the right track. I won't go down, I won't look back. I feel like I'm on
Good song structure.
I feel like I'm on the right track. I won't go down. I won't look back. I feel like I'm on the right track. I won't go down. I won't look back. Oh, oh, oh,
Yeah.
back.
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
Look back. Oh, oh, oh.
Let's go. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Thank you for the follow, and thank you for the someone said, oh, that heart me. I was like, wait, it notified me and then it moved around. Thank you for the heart me as well. I really appreciate that. Let's get into it, man. Let's run it from the top. Let's dive in. Quick reminder, y'all, that we're closed for today, but we're going to be live again tomorrow afternoon, probably around 2 p.m. Central-ish. So definitely make sure that you're following and subscribed either on TikTok, Twitch, or YouTube, where we're live now. And then Sonoris, let me know if you're in the chat. I just want to make sure you're here before we get into the last track. But let's get into it. Let's run it from the top. Obviously, a lot of this is scratch. A lot of this is early. So I want to talk about a couple details here, but really quick. Dude, it felt weird. It felt weird. Weird. It felt weird building a happy song for once. It is different. So I feel like I do a better job writing sad songs. I don't know. Maybe because the world seems sad right now. So I'm like, you know what? This is just more in line with what is coming naturally. But I want to pull up a drum kit really quick. Let me see. Give me a sec. There's my piano. And okay, this is. I'm gonna listen for this real quick. I'm curious. Here's my gut reaction after hearing it. Good song structure, good dynamics. I'm excited for you to dig into this a little bit more and dive into some of the details of it. One of the things that I'm hearing is some of the sound design is more powerful than the song presents. Right? I know some of this is scratched, so you can work this out as you go, but some of like the drums are there's a lot of attack, they're transient, they're sharp, they're punchy. And I would love for it to feel a little bit more folky and indie and still have a lot of your like core identity without feeling like it's trying to be like a train song or something like that. You know, like it's trying to like build into like a pop rock record from like 2002 or something. Like I still wanted to hold a little bit more of y'all's core identity. Like it would be nice to hear maybe brushes instead of a full kit, maybe a little organ in the background to just kind of support some of the chords, like maybe an organ or a Rhodes or something like that to support it a little bit more in the middle. I would love for this to just feel still happy and poppy and preppy, like high energy, but not too direct and too snappy, if that makes sense. So let me back this up here.
Which path do I choose? Which path win or lose? All it takes is a photograph to miss you. All this that's at stake. Every second I waste is a time enough to cauterize these wounds. Oh no, am I
That texture is more of what feels natural to me.
or is this another outtake? Oh no, have I shot the
As
shit
opposed to the more like
at this,
direct,
or is this another
the more like direct, dry rock drum in the middle. So that's, you know, again, there's going to be a lot of different perspectives on like whether you want a more direct sound and you want to build up the rest of the production around it. But for me, having this, and honestly, this is an old Korg Triton. I love this old, I sold a Korg Triton not that long ago, so I wanted to get some other stuff in the studio. But this is just on the Korg Triton plugin. But that texture supported by like a little bit of organ, maybe a Rhodes in the background, keeping your acoustic structure, keeping those vocal layers because those are beautiful. Having a little bit more of that color and texture in there, to me, is more cohesive with the rest of the production than having those really direct drums, personally speaking.
Another outbreak.
And then same on the drums, not on the drums, same on the bass, you can like simplify the bass structure a little bit instead of it being dum, 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 like trying to build with, again, really direct, really strong drums. It feels necessary to kind of keep up with it when you have that. So I do think that if you, personally speaking, if you do simplify those drums, go softer, go brushes, go like a reed kit or something like that, you can simplify the bass a little bit and not feel like you have to drive it so much. You can let the guitar do like 90% of the work. The dun, 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 like those strumming patterns can be, you know, the driving force of the song with just, you know, simple drums. Dun, 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 dun. Like that's driving the song more than like the bass is like really pushing it forward. Any suggestions for organ plugins? I had some trouble with the Ableton stock ones. They all sound kind of weird. I can show you the one that I use. Oh, you're over here. So I can literally show you the ones that I use. Boom. There we are. There we are. There we are. You can actually see exactly what I'm doing here. By the way, in case you're curious, here's the drums that I'm using. So this is the brush kit from the Korg Triton. I like it. And there's a lot of different snare hits. You can get a lot of articulations if you're programming and stuff like that. Anyways, side note, let's get out of there. The organs that the one that I typically use is one from Universal Audio. It's the Waterfall B3. So this is like a real sampled B3, like Hammond B3 with a Leslie. So this plugin here is and what I like about this, so just, and I'll kind of show you a couple things here. One thing that I like is I'm using my modulation wheel, and you can see on the screen how it's switching between how fast it's like breaking. You hear that little movement? Like that's a lot of like. I love it, dude. It's great. And honestly, even in just like going through the presets here, there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot that you can go through that sounds fantastic, like more direct. It's beautiful. And the other, I'll show you a couple things just real quick. This is one I use like 90. I'll show you another one. I'll show you another one because you have some options. This is what I use half the time. I'm going to push fast. Oh, come on. Isn't that's it's so good. I'm going to go slow first and then push fast. It's so good. It's beautiful, dude. I love this thing. Okay. And then what's also nice about this, you got reverbs. You have obviously all the different pull controls here. You can drive it. I'll go to a cleaner one. A little bit cleaner. You can drive it like crazy. Love it. And then the other thing that obviously you can do, there's a couple other things here. So you can go through a bunch of different like articulations here. How much of like the mechanics are you getting here, right? Pedal lifts and key thuds and stuff like that. But this rotary is the best part here, right? So this is the Waterfall B3, and this is the Leslie rotary. So this is the actual speaker that you stereo mic or mono mic it. Right, sounds amazing. Let me go back to like the default here really quick. Right, back on the default. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But what you can do here, which is great, here's your amplifier, the 147 right here. So we can drive this amplifier. Give it a little bit more. It's a great, great pre. move it down. And then you can also here go from like a mono rotary right in the middle, stereo, side cab, and you can also change the microphone, right? We could do a 414, you could do a KM84. So this is an AKG 414. This is a Neumann 84. Neumann, it's a KM84, a Neumann U87. This is a Sennheiser 421, which I have a couple of in the other room. 57s, these are Coles 4038s, Tube 67, that's a Neumann Tube 67. So you get all of these. You can change the mic position, you can change the microphone that you use, and you can do a different one on the drums. So you'll see here on the bottom here, this is like, I think it looks like a vintage 47, like a FET 47. Yeah, it's a FET 7. There's so many options here. That's an RE20. U87, Tube 67. There's so many options, so many options. So the thing that I love about this is it's not just like, and again, that's universal audio. You can on the other platforms, Tep, only on the other platforms. It's special. It's special on YouTube and Twitch. On there, again, you're not only, just getting like an organ sound with organ presets. You can literally change the microphone, its positioning, how fast that rotary is going, the balance between the drum versus the rotary, or the drum versus the horn, and then the levels and stuff like that. You can change the position, like here, left to right of that drum. And dude, I love it. Anyways, so that's one. And let me show you one other one real quick. The other one is the Vox. The Vox is fantastic. So the Vox is, if you want a little bit of a different kind of like electric organ sound. Where's my Vox? Down here. The Super Continental. I forget who makes this one too. Dude, it's a blast. I probably need to update those plugs. Okay, never mind. Well, let's. I have another one. I'll do the Arturia one. I have like duplicates of everything. So I have that one. This is the same. It's the same sample basically here. The same format. Jeez, why is this so big? Why? Give me 1 second. Why is this the biggest plugin I've ever seen in my entire life? Hold on. What's going on here? 1 second. There we go. Let's try that. It's still massive. Hold on. Why is it so big? Why is it so pause? 60%. Let's try that. Okay, there we go. Totally different feel. Now this is the Box Continental, so you can actually like run this through like an AC20, or not AC, like an AC15 or something like an AC30 and push it a little bit. But that's kind of a completely different vibe. Right? Different feel. You can still get a little bit of that modulation. Different feel, right? So it just kind of depends on the kind of organ, that you want, kind of what you're trying to get out of it. But for me, the Hammond is it. Like the Hammond is 90% of what I go to. This is just a different, it's like a Wurlitzer CP200 or a Wurlitzer like 200A or something like that versus a Rode Stage 73. They both are like mechanical tying, keyboards or whatever, but they're kind of giving us a different texture of the same thing, right? So most of the time I go with the Hammond because the Hammond just does what it does so beautifully. But it kind of just depends on what you're looking for. But yeah, if you can get the Hammond, or if you have so I have the Universal Audio subscription, and it's like $30 a month, and that gives me all of their, the LA2As, 1176s, 1073s, like all those plugins come with it. You get like, I don't know, 40, 50 plugins, something like that, of like their top used plugins, and those instruments come with it. So the rotary, or like the B3 with the Leslie, that came with that. So that's the way that I did it. Just it makes it easier for me. It's a lot simpler. Otherwise, you're spending a lot on them individually, and I just never would have. But it works. It does the trick. Okay, let's get a little deeper into the song really quick, and then we're going to close it up. But I'm kind of imagining a world where we soften all of this, right?
Just throw me a bone, putting out the fire.
Because right now, like,
my places.
it's like it's very energetic, and I can appreciate that on maybe a different song. But again, I don't want to hammer this home. But personally, it feels too not like too expressive. There's a specific word, too eager. That's the word that I'm looking for. It feels too eager in this song that I feel like could be really still happy, still melodic, right? Still open, but not too eager. It's not trying to force it too much.
Keep my head up high, won't let my love die. I see the light burn out of your faces.
And if you just, and then on the bass, just boom, 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 boom. Like very like simple. You can even do some of the, like, the. Right, like just like really simple bass movements too to match it. And maybe that's going in a different direction than y'all are wanting to. Like maybe that's a little bit too folky, but I think you can play around with the sweet spot. Play around with the balance that feels like everything's pointed in the same direction. Like if you're going to go soft production, make sure the drums are soft and they're not too snappy. If you're going to have, again, a softer dynamic and softer production structure, make sure the bass isn't too like full on, fully loaded P bass. Like make sure everything feels a little bit more tame so that it all feels like it's pointed in the same direction.
Oh no, am I losing my grip, or is there
I like the song structure though.
another outtake? Oh no, have I shot the shit and missed, or is this another outbreak?
You know what would be great here would be slide. Like one of these little steel slide, and then maybe an octave. Like track both. Track like just a slide over there with the guitar. A little bit brighter, a little bit less low end, and let that just kind of slide with the vocals in there. I suck so bad at slide guitar. I really need to work on it. Same. I'm not great at it either. I just comp it 1,000 times until I get it right. That would sound nice. You just keep it really, really simple. Really, really simple. Let me also say, if you overshoot it, you can melodyne the guitar. Keep that in mind too. If you're doing single notes, if you're not like doing multiple notes at the same time, and you overshoot some of the slides and the vibratos are too high and stuff like that, just drop it into place. It works. I'm telling you. These interludes, though, a slide would just be really nice. I could hear like a steel slide, still kind of like indie folk in that vein right there. But a nice steel slide would be nice, or like a pedal steel could be really cool as well. But yeah, even just a steel slide on like a hollow body or an acoustic or something like that. Yeah, I think it would fit, whether or not you're able to work it out yourself, or use a plugin or someone else or whatever it would be. Like, I do think that it would be a good addition to have something that breaks up maybe some of the monotony and creates a little bit more tension in your melodies right there. What's up, Melrose? Welcome in. How you feeling today? Good to see you. I feel like I'm losing my voice too. I've been talking too much today. I've been working too much. I'm going to lose my voice. But yeah, even if you can't do it justice, I mean, you might be able to find someone who can just really simply play some of those lead lines. Just like really light, really easy slides, just as kind of replacing your top line there at the very end.
I feel like I'm on the right track.
And then here, dynamically, same thing. I think we can really optimize our dynamics to where we're not everything's hitting full force all the time, right? Where like the bass is constantly pushing in. We constantly have like the drums are a little bit more full force. They're a little bit more transient and responsive. If we move to brushes on the drums, we simplify the bass a little bit. We slide on the guitar instead of doing, full picking patterns and hammer-ons. then even just like those couple elements right there, like soften the song a lot, right? It's less driving on the bass. It's less snappy and punchy on the drums. It's less rigid on the guitars. Like smoothing this whole thing out to me, I think is really important to making it just feel easy, right? Just easy and soft and natural to listen to without too much weight. Like nothing too driving, nothing too punchy here. I think we can soften it a little bit. Like even here, I would maybe take out the drums or take out the bass. Sorry, not the drums. Take out the bass for a second here potentially and just go, let's see. And just slowly build up. Like maybe the bass comes in on the B section here before you build it up. But I think taking out the bass a couple times here will definitely help open it up. Or just go to whole notes. Like a little more open, less driving. And then start driving here, right? You can do it intermittently, but it's not the main structure. And I'll probably go back to the march again. Depends on what you want to do with it, obviously. Like back to the brushes, probably just more dynamics. Definitely get the bones of this though, even for scratch vocals. Look back. Big gang vocals on this here. Track like another 5 layers of vocals. Step off the mic into the middle of the room. Get some on the left, some on the right. Some easy gang vocals right there will take it over the edge too. Just simple things like that to help wake up the last hook without the production itself having to be, too climactic, right? It doesn't have to be too crazy dynamic. Man, y'all show some love. Show some love. Shout out to Jamie for sending this in, man. Jamie Kearny, I love what you do, man. You're a good producer. Y'all are both, all of y'all working on these records. Good musicians, good producers, interesting ideas. Obviously, these are early scratch vocals. This is very, very, very early on and very simple. But I think you could just find some simple ways to like soften this record. Just soften it, simplify it, kind of bring it back into its space and don't feel like you need to go too far with it and build it up too much before you have what you want out of the song. Now, again, if you want to build it dynamically more, you want stronger drums and stuff like that, then my suggestion would be to make sure the rest of the production also supports having a stronger production structure, right? Like if you want real drums, then you might want to bring in like a Telecaster with some, other picking patterns that feels a little bit stronger. You might want, make better sequencing and stuff like that. But if you want it to feel a little bit more indie, a little bit more folky, then maybe settle some of the other production elements so it's all pointed in the same direction. But y'all show some love, man. Show some love to Jamie. I appreciate y'all so much. That is going to do it for today. That is going to do it for today. I am going to rest. My ears are fatigued. They're fatigued. They're fatigued. Jamie, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for what you do. I'm going to get out of here. I love it. Appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have an amazing rest of your evening. Hopefully we'll see y'all tomorrow as well. We will be live again early afternoon tomorrow. Hopefully I can get a bunch of stuff done earlier in the day so that we can be on for a good 4 or 5 hours tomorrow for some great music. So love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have an amazing rest of your evening. Make sure y'all are following, subscribe, all the good stuff. Peace.